Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk some baseball. Mountain View Eagles baseball. Joining us is the head coach, Ernie Griffis. And Ernie, you're excited about this team coming back after a very successful season last year.
Oh, absolutely, John. We did lose a few key starters, but we have 6 starters coming back and a couple of young guys that are going to fill some key roles, and it'll be a big part of, hopefully, a success this season.
Well, one of those guys you have coming back is no stranger to success, and he's really done a great job on the soccer field. His name is Colby Thomas.
Absolutely. He's looked as good as I've ever seen him this spring, John. Last year he was coming off the surgery after the soccer season. I didn't get him until about midway through, and he really didn't hit stride until, I would say, playoffs. And this year he's swinging the bat like I've never seen him swing the bat, and just his leadership ability, keeping the guys even keel, and having that experience that he's had on so many different levels with soccer, bringing it to our program is a great addition.
How about your senior, Matt Heller? Tell us about this young man.
Well, Matt's the guy that, I've been with him for 6 years now, and he's the guy that you kind of see walk into the gym as a 7th grader and 8th grader, and you think he's never going to give you anything, and now he's going to be a 3-year starter. He's worked his tail off to get where he's at. It does not come easy at times, but he's willing to put in the extra work, the extra reps, get cage work, ask me to come up on weekends, just individual cage work. He's not shy about doing the extra work, for sure.
Tell us about his defense over at first base and what he brings there for Mountain View.
Oh, he is so solid on first base. We were joking this morning, actually, after the interview. I told him he should have said that he's always bailing out our shortstop, because I think he scooped about 6 or 8 balls down in South Carolina for him. But we were also playing on turf, and Matt got a little spoiled down there compared to the grounds at Mountain View. So he's got another thing coming after the frost gets out of the ground here this spring.
I know you also have a pretty darn good pitcher. He's your number one. He's a lefty. He's a junior, and his name is Chris White.
Yeah, Chris is, like I said, all these guys. I mean, this is my 7th year in the program. I've seen all these guys come through the ranks, and he's just a guy that came on last year out of necessity. We did not know what we had. We're throwing him out there against the best in our league, and pulled off a lot of early season wins with a sophomore on the mound that we didn't expect to get anything out of because of injury to other players and pitchers that we didn't expect. And he did go 5-1 last year, and he's looking real solid this year, and hopefully do the same.
Well, it's nice when you have a guy who's 5-1 coming back, and he's an underclassman, and he's a lefty. That always throws some hitters for a little bit of a loop, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch him pitch, you don't think that he's doing anything spectacular at times, but man, does he keep guys off balance, and he gets so many ground balls or weak pop flies to the other side just because he must have some just natural lefty movement on his ball. And his breaking ball has come a long way this year, and he's really worked on his other pitches, so I think it's going to show in the stat line as well.
Well, tell us about Noah Pepper. He's another senior who plays shortstop.
Yeah, I mean, at a small school, John, you don't know what you have until, they kind of present themselves, and Noah is another one. Thought he was going to be an outfielder. The kid has an amazing arm, good glove work, great feet. And we just worked him into the shortstop role last year. Once again, I mean, we had key injuries at the beginning of the year, and he stepped into that role and kind of just took it for the year and played great. And there he is again this year, and he's another one in the off season. The build on a couple of my guys from the weight room work is amazing from last year to this year, and I can't wait to see how it shows on the field.
You mentioned, Ernie, about that workout and the weight room. I mean, guys like Colby Thomas and other soccer players, it was like a day after they played for a state championship, those guys hit the weight room and showed their dedication for this baseball season.
Yeah, it was amazing. I had several guys in the gym, during the soccer season that weren't involved in other sports, but it was amazing to see. Monday, I work at the elementary school, so I came across the road, and there's 5 or 6 soccer players in the weight room already going at it with my assistant coach. And, I would never make them come or anything like that. They just came on their own and, got to work, and they basically didn't miss many days throughout the whole winter season.
We're talking with Ernie Griffis. We're talking Mountain View baseball here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Locations at Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Kingston, Hazleton, and Williamsport. Ernie, I know you have a handful of sophomores that you expect big things from this year. Tell us about a few of them.
Yeah, we have 2 sophomores that are going to be sliding into starting roles this year. Dion Faramelli, he's going to be playing center field for us, possibly getting some time on the mound. And then Sam Flannery going to be playing second base, and also seeing a little bit more time probably than Dion on the mound. Outstanding sophomore class, John. Along with those 2, I have Ewan Sands, who's going to be my number 3 starter, who I can march out there against anyone, and he could get it done in my mind. Great class, 6 or 7 deep that all can play. So it's really good things for the future. And in the case of Sam Flannery, absolute pleasure to have on the team. Breathes baseball all year round, plays all year round, and is a really good model for even the upperclassmen at times with his work ethic.
Coach, when you talk about your pitching depth, you guys have not been outside as of today. And there's a lot of teams going through that, whether it's softball or baseball. They just haven't been outside. But I know some of the guys on the team feel that you have some pitching depth. Is that easy or hard to see when you're in the gym and just kind of could say, okay, I think we're okay here?
In the gym, it's hard to see, but you got athletes. You can see that they're throwing hard. They got a little pop in the catcher's glove. But it really came to light when we went down to South Carolina, and we played 5 games in 5 days. But really, we played 4 games in the last 3 days, and because of weather. And there's back-to-back varsity games, a nightcap, and then a morning. We threw out 4 guys. We played 2 outstanding teams, and we gave up 8 hits total in the 2 games. And pitch counts were low, throwing strikes, pitching contact. Everything you want to see as a coach out of your pitchers, we saw down there, and it was really great to see because at a small school, you usually don't have pitching depth.
How about the fact that you guys get head to South Carolina, you get some support there, and able to pull that off? What an experience, I'm sure, for not only the student-athletes but everybody.
Oh, yeah, man. When we walked into that complex, the guys' eyes lit up. We had a 12-hour bus drive down to South Carolina, and the first day we got off the bus, we couldn't check in. We practiced for 6 hours the first day, and they didn't say a peep. It wasn't 6 hours straight, but we practiced 4 hours, got checked in, and we had an 8:30 to 10:30 practice that night under the lights on the turf. And didn't say a peep. We're getting to play baseball with 75 degrees that first day. It was awesome.
Ernie Griffis here on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Ernie, you expect to be one of those teams in the mix in Double-A in northeastern Pennsylvania for District 2. But as you and I have talked, there's a whole lot of good teams in District 2 Double-A. It should be a real dogfight this year.
Yeah, I think this year more than ever, looking at our league and then the league down Division 3, it's wide open. A lot of people lost a lot of top arms last year and key seniors, and I think it's just going to be who lines up well in the playoffs, as far as pitching, and see how the season goes. But like I said, I don't think there's a standout team that you can say like the district is theirs, and you've had that in past years, but this year it's wide open, I think.
Well, you can check out Mountain View in our baseball and softball preview magazine. If you'd like to pick up a copy, we have numerous locations. You could grab a copy of the baseball and softball preview magazine. Mountain View expected to be one of those teams in Double-A to contend in the district playoffs, and at some point they're hoping they can make it through and play for a district championship. Ernie Griffis, it's been my pleasure. You have a great team. You have some great young men there, and thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
Hey, John, thanks for all the support. We appreciate it.
That's Mountain View Baseball here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.